Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode 94. I'm Martin, and
I'm Duncan.
And I'm Tom.
all three of us.
Yay!
That is a miracle.
I think it is possibly the first time in at least 10 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I almost wasn't going to make it, so...
Got eaten by a carrot.
There was an allotment emergency. I'm not going to...
Sorry. I should probably change that to Mrs. called him to the allotment to play with a carrot.
That's the problems of a gaming dad, is when you get older, you have problems with your allotment. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with having an allotment. Pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool. Super cool. I mean, I'd love an allotment, but no, it really isn't super cool. No. Sorry. I'm sorry, Martin. You're not super cool. I would love an allotment. I will reiterate that. But yeah, let's not spend an hour talking about allotments, which are pretty cool.
I'd like a farm, but I don't want any animals on it.
So you want arable then?
Slaves.
Oh, okay. That took a dark turn.
Well, I only said they can work the farm. Like, I'll pay them. It's fine.
This is a video game podcast, yeah? So far, we've talked about carrots, vegetables, allotments, and having slaves.
You bet. If you're paying them, they wouldn't be slaves, would they?
Depends how much work they're doing.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It depends on how much you're paying them for how much work, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to a podcast that is actually about video games occasionally. Anyway, so I think what we're going to be talking about mostly news today. I think the one big bit of news was a leak. Wasn't there? There was...
You just went for a leak.
I did just go for a leak. Up against a fence outside. There's the Xbox... Well, it's not the Xbox handheld. It is the Rog Ally 2. ROG Ally 2. I don't know whether you'd say ROG or ROG. It doesn't grow on allotments. It has been leaked by the FCC of all people in America, and it's dirty, isn't it? Have both of you seen it? Oh no, Tom's seen it. Martin,
I thought it just looked like a Rog Ally. I didn't even.
It doesn't. The Rog Ally looks really good looking, I think. And this leak, I don't know. In terms of aesthetically, it looks like a step backwards. I don't like the look of it personally.
I'm confused by this. Is this the Rog Ally X or the Rog Ally 2? Or are they the same thing?
Rog Ally X is already out.
Yeah,
the Rog Ally X is basically an upgraded,
enhanced Rog Ally. Yeah.
It's like the Rog Ally Pro.
Can we just say what a stupid name for a handheld?
What, the Ally?
No, the Rog Ally 2. What's this? Stupid
ROG
name?
stands for Republic of Gamers. That is Asus's brand.
Still stupid.
Yeah, I had that.
ROG
Strix something.
So it's Republic of Gamers. So it's it's a bit like saying Alienware or whatever.
Yeah, but Alienware kind of rolls off the tongue. Rog Ally, try saying that when you've had 3 cans of beer. Duncan.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I've had the equivalent of about 6 cans of beer. So Rog Ally. Yeah, I do actually say Rug Ally after a while. So yeah, but it is technically ROG Ally. ROG Ally.
And most people just say the Ally. Let's face it.
Yeah, it is the Ally.
But looking at the design, and we will put the design on our Facebook group. I don't know if maybe one of us can do that as we're speaking.
It's leaked. And the problem is, it was leaked by the FCC, who have to do lots of tests on it, have to take lots of pictures of it. And the picture they took is obviously after about 5 million people had touched the screen. And also after they put it in a sandstorm because it was dusty, it was dirty, and it looks horrible.
It does. It's just not pleasant.
Yeah.
So, and there's like a white one and a black one. So which one are you talking about? The black one, in terms of.
Well, the white one for me looks less dirty. So I'd like the white one, please.
The black one has got ROG written on it.
Well, what it is, I think the black one is supposed to be the Xbox branded one, which I presume will have more of it will have the Xbox game bar installed all automatically and all this kind of thing. Whereas the white one is rumoured to be the Rog Ally 2.
Yeah, but the black one that has ROG written on it, isn't it? ROG. Whereas the white one...
No, it will still... It's because this is not an Xbox handheld. This is a Rog Ally or an Asus handheld with Xbox branding and Xbox backing. So it is still... This is not an Xbox handheld. It is an Xbox backed handheld.
They're obviously funding the development of this device, so they can test the waters for, whether it's worth them putting in the effort to do a handheld Xbox themselves. So, I don't like the controller hands at the side. I'm just
that is it.
Not
it looks ugly, doesn't it? It does.
It looks better in white than it does in black.
It does, and I think the dirt doesn't help.
Where's the Xbox button on this?
But the white one has the coloured Xbox 360 style buttons as well. Yeah. So as well as the fact that it looks cleaner, it looks brighter. The fact that the ABXY are Xbox 360 style coloured makes it look a lot better. So
where's the Xbox button on this? I can't see it.
If you look on the left hand side, there's 3 buttons. If you look at the black one, and you have to zoom in because it is quite faint. There is an Xbox logo on it.
If you look at the
if you look at the white one, it's blank.
If you look at the button on the white one to the 3 buttons, it's the top button, the smaller one. If you look at that, it looks like the OnLive logo. Remember the OnLive streaming console machine?
Hang on, I'm just looking at which one.
So you've got the 3 buttons, haven't you?
And you've got the 3 buttons,
one, the black one. But look at the of the 2 littler ones. Look at the top one. That looks like the OnLive logo.
I can tell you what that is. That's the Copilot logo.
Oh, no one likes Copilot. It's rubbish.
Well, Well, it's a Windows button. So you can bring up various things with Windows and the Windows button and the direction, or it's like having the Steam button on the Steam Deck.
So
but yes, unfortunately, OnLive is not making a comeback. That is just...
Thank God, it was dreadful. Although I still have the machine upstairs in the loft.
No. I completed Last of Us Part 1 thanks to... Actually, no, that was PS Now, wasn't it? OnLive was terrible.
I did like the controller, though, on the OnLive. I thought that was quite good. But I've still got the machine in the loft, actually. I might power it up and see if it still works. So the question... We also know that Steam's releasing the app to go on all the other handhelds as well to compete with Xbox, So question is, if Xbox are on all these other handhelds and Steam bring out a Steam Deck 2, what would you go for?
Right now, I mean, and this is the thing that I hate about Nintendo and your Apple, is that you're locked into that ecosystem. Now, I do love having the flexibility of Steam because you're PC. So you can put trainers on, you can mod things quite easily, you can play something offline, because even if it is an online only game, there'll probably be a patch that you can put on and play something. But I am a sucker for achievements. I do love getting achievement hunting. I'm not somebody who has to perfect everything, but I do love cheesing an achievement. Cheesing, yeah, like sort of if you could get an achievement by pressing a single button over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I will go on true achievements, and I will look how to get certain achievements that I'm not sure quite how to get, and see if they're doable. But we're
talking not... Xbox.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like getting PS trophies, because you could get true trophies, which is the equivalent, the PlayStation equivalent of true achievements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about specs for a second here. So as it stands, the FCC obviously leaking this thing.
They haven't leaked the specs, unfortunately.
Well, actually, there has been a leak of the specs. So let me delve in for you. So 7-inch display, 120 hertz, which is the same as the original. The black Xbox branded version comes with a Ryzen Z2 Extreme chipset.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The Z2 Extreme is pretty much a given, because that was what the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme was what was in the Rog Ally, and you could get the two versions, the Extreme or non-Extreme. And so the Z2 Extreme was pretty much a given.
Yeah, so the Xbox branded model has a 36 watt charging, whereas the non-Xbox branded one is a 20 watt. That's interesting.
Okay.
So the white model has a yet unnamed 4-core chipset. So clearly the black one has been funded by Microsoft.
Well, this is the thing. The initial ROG Ally has the extreme version and the non-extreme version. And I can imagine that Xbox have gone to Asus and said, you know how you had the two versions before? We're only going to do the higher powered version.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the only problem is going to be, because if Microsoft are subsidizing the cost so they can bring the cost down, then what do Asus do about the lower powered one? Because if they're if it's not subsidized by Microsoft, so if you've got one that is Microsoft subsidized, that's, let's say, just pulling numbers out of my backside, £400, and then they go, oh yeah, we've got another one that's £390, or $450 and $400. No one is going to buy the Asus one.
I think you're going to look at about $499 for the Xbox One, and I think you're going to look at $399 or $425 for the non-Xbox branded. That makes it viable. I think that's where we're looking at, and obviously it's got to compete with the Switch too. So,
well, out of the three of us, Martin, you're the most likely probably to buy a Switch 2. If I came at you with a ROG Ally 2 or an Xbox branded one for £100 more than the Switch 2, which would you buy?
How much is the Switch 2 again? I can't remember.
£400.
So yours £500.
Yeah, so £500 for basically an Xbox handheld, which is Windows, so you can do Steam as well, or £400 and you get the Nintendo ecosystem.
Probably the Switch 2.
Yeah? Okay.
I think I would go with the Xbox branded one.
But I was asking Martin.
We're a podcast.
You want to ask you?
Shut your face, carrot boy.
No. And that's the thing. It is going to be better for different people to do different things. Yeah. For me, absolutely, I'd go for the Xbox branded one at £500. I'd buy it tomorrow.
But you don't know if you would choose it over a Steam Deck 2 when Tom asked you earlier on.
Yeah. But if it was compared to a Nintendo Switch 2.
No, but if you had to choose that between a Steam Deck 2 or the Xbox One.
A Steam Deck 2. See, I'm very much somebody who looks up the power and how, sort of battery life and all this kind of thing. I mean, a 36 watt charging is not particularly great as it is. So no. If it was Nintendo versus the ROG Ally 2, then I'd go ROG Ally 2 every time. If it was Steam Deck 2, which probably isn't going to be around for the next couple of years anyway, versus the ROG Ally 2, then there would be, I mean, SteamOS is fantastic. It does restrict you into tinkering to get all the other launchers on, but it works so well and it's so easy to use. It's almost easier than like Nintendo's offerings. Yes, I went there.
I think there's something to be said, isn't there, that you can still play Nintendo stuff on a non-Nintendo handheld.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind tinkering, get a Steam Deck because it's so easy to play all the games that you want. Whether that's Nintendo, Sega, Atari Jaguar, if you're really that way inclined, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, all these. If you want to play all those, get a Steam Deck or ROG Ally.
I read earlier a tiny little bit off the subject, but people can mod their Switches and stuff like that and able to get Switch games. I read that if Nintendo suspects that you're doing that to their Switch, they can brick it.
Yes, they have changed their terms and conditions. So if they believe that you are modding your console or pirating, they are allowed to brick your console. They've basically changed their terms and conditions. They haven't said that's what's going to happen, but I think it's covering their asses if their legality, for when people no doubt work out how to mod the consoles, because that it's not going to take long. It is very popular already. The pre-sales have run out and all that kind of thing. But it's scary, I think.
I wonder if someone challenged that in court, like where they were.
Yeah. I haven't done it because let's face it, your Call of Duty cheats are sometimes getting people who haven't cheated. Your anti-cheat, that kind of thing. Sometimes people are like, I haven't cheated a day in my life. What's going on? And what happens if somebody's in all good faith has bought a Nintendo Switch 2 and it gets bricked because they've incorrectly thought. So, I don't think they'll enforce it, but I think it's there just in case they need to have it there. Personally, it's a difficult. It is a very, like you said, it's a very difficult one to enforce, because unless you've got like IP addresses and all this kind of thing, of where people have software, basically big long lists of what people are doing on their Switch, which you might. I can't imagine they'd have that kind of thing. Then you can't prove that people have been pirating. So you could have somebody who's the lead of a pirate community going, No, I didn't.
I guess they're hoping the threat itself will
prevent
the average person from being like, I don't want to. I just spent £400 on this. I don't want to risk it getting bricked. But then there'll be other people who, £400 isn't that much, and they'll be like, I'll risk it. But I guess Nintendo are banking on just preventing it.
Exactly. And let's face it, the more powerful ROG Ally 2, Steam Deck 2, Xbox Handheld, all those things that are coming out, they are most likely from what's been rumored going to have the ability to emulate Switch 2 eventually. Maybe not ROG Ally 2, maybe ROG Ally 3. I don't know, but yeah. So what? Don't just. I suppose I'm saying don't buy Nintendo. Really.
I think me and Martin will both end up with Switch 2s at some stage.
You probably will. I don't like to think of myself as anti-Nintendo, but I think I am a little bit anti-Nintendo. I'm not anti-Nintendo games. I'm anti-Nintendo.
I'm going to wait for the QLED version to come out.
Ooh, you think there'll be QLED, not straight to OLED?
Who knows? But I'm going to wait for the next version for two reasons. One, the original will come down in price. Also, if it's that good, it's worth getting and spending the extra.
Yeah, come down in price. It's Nintendo, so it'll come down in price by £10.
That's right. CEX will sell it well cheap. We're all good.
CEX? Really? Right. For those that aren't in this country, CEX are like a
GameStop.
They're basically like a pawnbroker for tech. So you take it there, and your thing that's worth £100, they'll give you, I don't know, £20. And then they'll sell it for the thing that's worth £100 for £130. And your thing, you could literally get a Switch out of the box, take it in there, and they would find a scratch on it and go, "Oh, sorry, mate, it's only worth £80."
I got a iPad Pro from there on their website, and I actually got it was still £1,100 in the shops, and I got it for £600. So you can get cheap stuff in there. You just got to know what you're looking for.
I'm going to have a look how much they're selling Switches at the moment.
Go on. Prove him wrong.
Excuse me. Anybody who listens to these podcasts will know I'm never wrong.
Yeah, right.
That's the theme of this podcast, is that Duncan is never wrong, especially when he's had lots of drinks.
Duncan has an ego, basically.
I don't know. I think I'm the general encompassing knowledge person.
So
you two are the Nintendo or retro experts.
Martin's talking. Shush.
Oh, sorry.
So just for the standard non-OLED, they sell them for £195.
Mm-hmm.
And the OLED version, they sell for £230. So
I think that's quite reasonable.
That's boxed. It does come in a box.
So, right, Switch OLED, I can buy it new, £247 from Amazon.
From your mate down the road.
From Amazon. As in, like,
you're going to get some AliExpress version of the Switch that just plays a knockoff Mario.
Nintendo Switch OLED model, white, £246.80.
That's why it's so cheap. It's in white. No one wants a white version.
The CEX one was white.
I've got a kid. They'll colour it in with crayons or whatever straight away. Okay. Then, what colour is it? Is it black? Is it black?
It's a white one. It's white one.
Is it black?
White. It's white.
I was just trying to see if there's like anyway, £269 for the black version. Anyway, the white version, 246. So there you go.
Well, soon it'll be a lot cheaper.
I mean, I don't know if Tom was trying to get us a sponsorship by CEX, but I would say don't buy. No, British people don't buy from CEX.
They'll probably charge us for it.
There are retro. There are some retro stuff.
Yeah. No, if there's things you can't find, yes, I'll give them that. They have a good choice. And you can go in there and get like Xbox 360 games or PS3 games, and they're like £1 or £1.50 or whatever. But then sometimes you'll go in there and there'll be an Xbox 360 game. And you think, oh yeah, I don't mind that, and it'll be like £14. I'm like, what? I can go next door and get it for free.
So I remember there was a there was a Metal Gear Solid game on the GameCube. I think it's Twin Snakes.
Oh yeah,
it's really hard to find on eBay. It was like £80. I went to see it. They were selling them for £50 in CEX.
Nice.
But then I think people start. I think CEX cottons on, and then they increase their price.
Yes.
Okay, people actually buying them on eBay for about £80 a week in there.
I never buy retro, as in Game Boy, SNES, Mega Drive, that sort of stuff from CEX. It's so overpriced. Unbelievable.
Hang on, you spent the last 5 minutes disagreeing with me that they're a rip-off.
I was talking about the Switch. They're good for a 3D movie.
But yeah, I was going to say, but then that goes into the whole Nintendo thing of Nintendo are a rip-off. In terms of they will have these upgrades, which they've announced some prices, so there will be varying prices from free. I think there is one or two that might be free upgrades on the Switch 2 to like there's some that are $2.99 or $3.99, but there's still upgrades for games that are 8 years old, 9 years old, or whatever. Why are you just release the same game then? If it's that hard, just release the same game, and it'll just work better.
So with the Zelda game, the Breath of the Wild and the Tears of the Kingdom, if you own the Switch version, you get the upgraded Switch 2 version for free.
Is that free? Oh, there you go. I knew there was something that was for free.
Interestingly, and this annoyed me the other day, I saw an advert for Switch 2 games, and it said for the physical copy it was £90, for the digital copy it was £80 or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. But there isn't a actual physical copy of the game. It is just a plastic case with a code inside it.
There's keys. They are keys.
Yeah.
They had said that from day one that you are not buying a physical copy of the game. You are buying a key.
If that's the case, then the price in the shop should be exactly the same price as the one on the digital store.
Well, no, because you'll get the same service, but with a piece of plastic. And that piece of plastic costs £10. Yeah, there you go. And this is the thing now. I mean, it is more expensive, but just get a PC or get a PC handheld. Yeah. I really don't get it. It's annoying. I know I've had a few drinks, but my goodness, if the cost of gaming is getting really high for a lot of people, and if like me and many other people, sometimes you're like, I haven't really got money to buy that game. Look for the cheapest way, and the cheapest way is PC. But then you've got the initial cost. So get your handheld like your Steam Deck. Perfect. And then I bought a new controller this week with Microsoft Rewards. Hey, brilliant. So get on Microsoft Rewards. So cheap. So I got a controller for free. But yeah,
So does the Switch 2 have an SD card bit then? So you won't be able to play so can you play Switch 1 games on it?
Yeah. And also the Switch 2 games will work on the Switch 1.
What?
Yeah. Switch 2 games will work on the Switch 1. They do.
No. There are Switch 1 games that will be available on Switch 2 games that are available on Switch 1.
No, they do. You can actually use the Switch 2.
Yeah, but there will be a separate thing. It's a bit like saying you got a DVD and there's 2 versions of the game on it. So there'll be a version for the Xbox One and the version.
Yeah, you won't get you won't get the newer version. But yeah.
But not every Switch 2 game will be on the Switch 1, because I looked like Donkey Kong isn't going to be out on the Switch 1. No. But Metroid Prime is going to be out on the Switch 1.
Yeah.
Oh, cartridges will work on Switch 2. No, Switch 1. Yes. So it's original Switch Switch 2 edition cartridges. So, yeah. Hang on. Oh, yeah. I was going to say this is confusing for me. Oh, there you go. So there's a different notch. So I presume that tells the cartridge which version of the game it has.
Where you're sticking it.
Yeah. So, again, but the Switch 2 doesn't need any physical things on the cartridge because it is just a key for downloading the game. So it maybe have the full game of, let's say, Tears of the Kingdom on it, but it will have the Switch 1 version. If you want to play the Switch 2 version that has the higher textures, better textures, higher frame rate, then it will have to download the Switch 2 version, which it would have to do if you put it in Switch 2.
God, that was hard, wasn't it? Jesus.
Yeah. No, I didn't realise that. I knew that they were very similar.
It's hard to explain, isn't it? Because it's so complex, the process of what it allows.
But again, after the Wii U palaver, people don't want Switch 2 things that work in the Switch 1.
I agree.
Now, granted, your granny who's just like, oh, is there Switch on it? Will love that because they can just buy something. But eventually, they will have games that don't work on it.
Yeah, it should have been. It's backwards compatible, but the newer ones don't work in it.
Have a big number 2 on it, like it's got the Switch icon and then the 2 on it.
They tried to please everyone.
Switch ones just have the icon and Nintendo Switch. So have a number. If it has a number 2 on it, it works. If it doesn't have a number 2 on it, it won't work on that. There you go. But now by doing that, where you can put Switch 2 things in the Nintendo Switch and play Tears of the Kingdom or Mario Kart World or whatever's backwards compatible, or not backwards compatible with the Switch 1. You're just confusing matters, and it's doing the whole Wii U thing all over again. That's stupid. That's the first time I've heard of that. That's really made me angry.
Speaking of anger and new potential consoles,
I've had a few drinks. Don't forget.
There is some leaked information about the PlayStation 6. So, which is rumored to be coming out in 2027, or will be announced around that time. But one of their developers, Supermassive Games, long-time partner of Sony, of course,
very much so,
has leaked some information that Sony has gone into talks with AMD about a new chipset that will power the good game that will power the next PlayStation. And they're saying there's a previously unannounced Blade Runner franchise that could come to the PlayStation 6. Yeah, so it's called Blade Runner Time to Live, that was previously announced but then not used. But yeah, so they're saying that they're possibly developers will be getting some dev units into the new year. So either late this year or early into the new year.
I mean, dev kits for the next generation, whether Xbox have a home console or not, and PlayStation, let's face it, they're just going to be powerful PCs.
They are. I think we've got to that stage.
So I think, all they've got to look at is the latest technology. So, I mean, although Unreal Engine 5 is the basis of everything now, like Clair Obscure and all this kind of thing, I'm pretty sure Unreal Engine 6 will be, sort of given out to select partners that they're working on this and they're working on that ability. And so I think dev kits has less of an appeal nowadays. It's more just sort of like, here's the specs, and they go, okay.
But the thing is, where do they go? Because obviously everyone was raving about 8 and 12K TVs. And the PlayStation 5 was all about, it's going to be 4K, it's going to be this.
Oh, no. They had 8K on their advertising.
Or 8K, whatever it was. But
they did. And then they quietly removed it at the end of last year, I think.
So they achieved it with the Pro version. So TVs haven't done anything with 8K or 12K. Let's face it.
No, we don't need 8K.
No. So what is the point? We're not going to have 8K and 12K in 2027.
Yep, so I'd highly agree.
What do? It has to be a handheld machine. It has to be. There's no other reason. It has to be PlayStation on the go. Yeah, a hybrid.
A hybrid, yeah.
Because you're talking, and I'm a big tech person. You know this. You are looking at least another 9 years. And I know I could say 10 years, but 8 or 9 years before we get to 8 to 12K affordable TVs. And apparently there's a new version of 3D TVs coming back.
When HD came out, everybody was like, why do I need that? And as soon as you saw HD, you were like, oh, that's why I need it, because it looks really good. If you go from 4K to 8K, you're going... What's okay. I could slightly see some more hairs on their face.
Yeah.
Like, what do I care? And I'm getting to that point now. Now, if you look at, you got things like Digital Foundry. If you go on Eurogamer, they have Digital Foundry who assess the technical aspects of games and hardware, and they're brilliant. Don't get me wrong, they're brilliant. But most of what they are saying nowadays, 99% of people do not care.
No.
If they say something's bad. Now, granted, if something's, if they're saying something's terrible, yes, okay, people care because it's things are stuttering and unplayable. Yeah, that's fine. But most of what they're saying, oh look, you can see this blurring on this grass. So I really don't care.
No, I mean they're already talking about. Well, Sony announced their first 16K TV in 2019, which was a crystal LED display. 1,000 nits.
Am I ticking the explicit thing on this episode?
What, for Sony?
Because I just want to say, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody. No, Martin. Do you feel the need for an 8K TV?
No. I think it's the difference is, as long as the game plays well, like if it's not buggy and not like you were saying, like jittery, that's why like people like Switches, because
exactly
if you compare a Switch to like an Xbox or PS5, you can see the difference, but you just enjoy the experience of playing the game.
But the technology of the Switch was 8 years older than the PS5 and the. Well, not technically. It was technically 5 years older.
Can't really want PS5 and Xbox.
But still, it was older tech. Yeah.
Yeah. But you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't.
I am like with Tom in terms of if they're going to bring out a PS6 in 2027, they need like some sort of unique. Like, why would you go out and buy a PS6? Rather than just use a PS5 Pro. So, will that be, like Tom was saying, a handheld hybrid, like seems like everyone else is doing?
The PlayStation Portal, in my opinion, which is fantastic, although very expensive to run with these subscriptions, I think that was their test bed to see whether it works to bring out a compatible device, and it does, because it sold droves. But I think, just what Martin said then, there's no jump in the technology. We've reached the top of the mountain for technology at the moment, and all the chipsets and everything else, and the affordability is going to take 8 to 9 years to catch up before. And we are at a point now where the world financially isn't there to be able to cope with these things.
Don't look for an increase in power. Look for an increase in affordability. So make it so that you can make these things cheaper. Because back in the day, yes, you released a chip that was well, what are they now at, like 3 nanometer or something like that? Let's say millimeter. Let's say they were at a millimeter, and what they did was they created a 0.5 millimeter chipset that was cheaper to process because it was smaller, it was cheaper, and they could produce more of them or whatever. And so your PlayStation whatever would have been cheaper. But now we're getting to the point where Xbox have just put their prices up. Previously, PlayStation put the prices up, and this is what they're doing. They're going for this tiny bit more power that is then an extra 20% more cost. So why not just make this thing cheaper? Because we're at a saturation point, basically.
We are. It is saturation, definitely.
And the saturation point basically means that you need to make things cheaper, not better. Because what you've got is fantastic. Nvidia, you've done a grand job. Well done. Give it us cheaper. We don't want a GPU that's £2,000. We want a GPU that's £500 that was good 3 years ago.
100%.
But what they're doing is going, oh no, we're not going to do that 3-year-old one and make it cheaper. That we're going to make this new one that's 10% better, the same price or probably 20% more. So I don't want 20% more for 20% more. What I want is the same price for 20% less.
And I think this is what's destroying the industry. And I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about this from gaming channels where they're saying that the industry, including the retro industry, is being destroyed by pricing. And until you can bring it down to what's affordable for the everyday man, then this is why these handhelds are working, because people know not only can they play the modern games, and you can see the switches in this, because you can see that Steam is bringing their app to all the different devices. You've got Xbox doing the same. And I think that's where the market's changing, because that's where PC gaming becomes accessible. And that's where emulation becomes accessible and retro becomes accessible. And the question is if they don't release a handheld model, which is gaming on the go, then does it become a situation where they release apps that go onto the handhelds like Xbox is doing to make and then focus on streaming only? Because physical gaming is going as well.
I think Valve have done a sort of almost backwards thing. They've released a Steam Deck after lots of failures. They've had Steam machines and all this kind of thing. But basically now they've released a Steam Deck, and that's been such a success that they've now been able to release Steam OS, which means people can emulate quite easily. So yeah, I've had a few drinks, so I don't know what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying in my head.
So we've got physical gaming going. We've got PC gaming failing. We've got graphics chips.
PC gaming is not. No. PC gaming is a failing. It's just
it's becoming a handheld market.
Yeah.
No one is spending $5,000 on a PC when you've got a $2,500 or $4,000 graphics
But this is the
card.
thing: people are being conned with PC gaming that you need to have a 5080 or 5090 graphics card, and you need to have the latest Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 X3D, and it's like you don't. You can get a CPU that's £150 and £60 worth of memory, and then a GPU that's £350, and then get a case that's £50. You could get a motherboard that's okay. Motherboards a bit more expensive than they used to be, but and all in all, you can build one that is basically Lego for geeks, for a lot less than they are pre-built.
Or you can get a Rog Ally,
or you
can play the same shit with less money.
Yeah, and you can, but it is a lower visual or aesthetic quality.
What does it matter if you're streaming?
That's the thing. I love my Steam Deck, and I love playing games. I sometimes plug mine in to my 55-inch TV, and I couldn't give a crap if it looks a bit less than the person that's got 5090. Yeah. Couldn't give a crap. It plays just as well.
Again, what does it matter if you're going to be streaming your games and they're not physical games? What does it matter?
Oh, it on Steam Deck it does. I disagree. They are locally playing on Steam Deck. Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
Well, except for I do have the app XB Play, which means I can play Xbox cloud gaming on my Steam Deck, which I do quite regularly, and I can remote play on my Series X. The remote play is not quite as good as the cloud play. Cloud play works flawlessly. The remote play, it's a bit dodgy, but that's because I think my setup is a bit dodgy. So there you go. I don't know what we were talking about, really. We're talking about handhelds.
We're talking about PS6. And
what are we talking about PS6? Yeah, don't want that.
Should we talk about the Meta Quest 4?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Have another drink, love.
We go from something in 2027 to something in 2026. Well, at least we're getting closer in time. No, Meta Quest 6.
Meta Quest 4. Not 6.
4. Sorry, Meta Quest 4 coming out in 2026.
I think we need to restrict his drinking on these episodes.
No. Meta Quest 4 coming out in 2026. I personally, I think that it all depends on how successful their smart glasses are.
Do you think? Why?
Because if they're not successful, you've got two ways of looking at that. One, you could say if they are successful, then the common software will mean that a Meta Quest 4 will probably be successful. But equally, if it's common, then why would people have something that covers their eyes completely?
Because they're different products.
Yes, I know they're different products, but if the ones that you can wear and do other things and walk along the street work well, why would you have one that you could pretty much only use at home?
Well, the Samsung XR, which they're working with Google on, that's a home-based thing, but they're also working on the glasses. So Meta are about to release an updated Meta Ray-Bans with a basic display that will show overlays, messaging,
your phone stuff,
yeah, and also Google are about to bring out their version of that, but separately from that, they're bringing out the XR virtual reality headset as well. So I think there's a market for two, because I think, and I found this out, I was out with my daughter, and it would have been great not to be able to have to pull out my phone to have to take pictures, and just sit there with her and be able to take in the moment with that in the glasses, filming it. That would have been cool.
I just had this image of you being there with these huge glasses going, look into the glasses! And she's there screaming her head off like, I don't want to look at the glasses, Daddy!
What it would have been was, and I'm not going to say the full one, it would be, okay, G, film the bloody thing. I said okay. And it just sits there going,
you see all
this does not compute.
These Insta parents, can't you? That are like, I don't care what you want. Just look at this and do what I tell you.
Oh God, can you imagine?
Insta parents.
It's coming that way. You know it is. So I think for me, I love the Quest 3. I think it's brilliant.
I would love a Quest 3S. I think I'm closest to buying, but I'm still nowhere near buying.
I've got a Quest 2, but my kids have got a Quest 3, and I've started to use theirs more. And I love mixed reality. Sitting in my lounge or laying on the sofa, having a big 200-inch screen in the room, watching YouTube, watching some movies. I was watching Lord of the Rings 4K extended edition the other night. I got so bored by midway through, I had to turn it off, but still. And but
then technically you're not watching it in 4K, are you?
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Why am I not?
Because it's not 4K. You haven't got a 4K screen.
But the lenses are 4K.
But they're not using the full screen.
What does it matter? I'm streaming.
But you're not. If you've got a 4K screen in front of you, that it is using, it's put stationary on a wall, yeah. So you're not using the entire screen that is displaying on your eyes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm streaming, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you're not seeing a 4K source. You're seeing 4K source.
No, I get that.
But you're not. It's not in 4K.
You're not viewing it. No. But it doesn't matter.
Sure it looks great. I'm sure it looks great. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm being pedantic basically and saying
you are.
You're not watching it in 4K. I'm sorry.
Even so, it was fantastic, and I was very
I'm
happy.
Sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Fantastic.
Don't say it was 4K.
Fantastic that you turned it off halfway through.
It's only because when I purchased the digital copies of this, I didn't realize I'd purchased the extended editions. Did
you get to the point where you think, why couldn't that Eagle just take them to?
Yes, basically. And I the funny thing was I found some Lord of the Rings memes earlier, and I was laughing at them because it did say, why didn't the bloody Eagle just pick up Frodo and take him to the volcano right at the beginning? We wouldn't have had to put up with 4.5 hours of movie.
Exactly. 4.5? This is 9 hours, and that's without the extended.
Well, I suppose with the trilogy, I suppose that would be the one. So, but anyway, going back to
I did have a day where me and some friends decided to watch the entire trilogy. Just with not extended edition, and have a few drinks while we're doing it. I think we got through halfway through the second one. I think we all fell asleep because we were so hammered.
Well, that's it. I think
it was a long day.
Yeah, but I think I think the Quest 4 would be fantastic. I think it would be something that I'd want, but I very, very much want the smart glasses as well. So.
Although I'm a gamer, I think smart glasses are the ones with the puck.
The Neuroband.
And that I think that's more what I'd want. I think, I think something that is easy to use day to day, and I can use for both gaming and your everyday. You're reading things, you're browsing and whatnot. I think that would be a lot more desirable. Whereas I really want a VR headset, and technically I do right next to me have a Quest 2. That's my stepson's, but I just can't be bothered with it. I just whatever.
The step up from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3 is massive.
But it's not about the power or anything. I'm just like, okay. Well, I mean, one thing is that I'm in an outbuilding, which is not my bedroom, and I'm sure if I had bought a Quest 3 or Quest 3S, then I would have it in my bedroom, and I would then, once the wife's asleep, stick that on, have a bit of porn. I mean, stick a bit of YouTube on.
That's more like it. Yeah.
Yep. What are you watching, dear? Nothing, my love.
He's watching Reacher. That's what he's doing.
Reach around.
Yeah. Martin, what do you think on this? I'm trying to shut Duncan up.
This is different. I've so got to tick the explicit button.
You do.
Sorry,
Martin. Over to you.
In regards, to, I mean, what games are on the Quest 3? Oh, I mean, I get
all the same shit that's on the other one, but you've also got the Alien game, and you've got
Batman,
and there's a Terminator game coming. There's all sorts.
Batman came out like months ago, didn't it? So is there did they release?
It was a launch game with a 3S, wasn't it? I think.
But you're talking 35 quid. I mean, I'd never spend 35 quid on a MetaQuest game.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm going to guess it's quite easy to pirate.
You'd think it's not.
Is it not?
No, you can sideload stuff.
That sounds like a challenge to me.
Well, feel free, because I'd love to play Alien, but I've not.
No, I would never do that, because that would be illegal.
Yes, it would, unless you own the game.
Exactly. So
Martin owns the game. Give me a login.
Yeah. My honest opinion on virtual reality is I would have thought that it'd be more popular than it is.
Yeah.
Because
I thought that, as well.
It just seems like it hasn't taken off, doesn't it? But
this is why they need the glasses style.
They do. That's where it's at.
I think, especially like people like me that wear glasses. I think, Mark, you wear glasses, why don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you wear smart glasses?
If somebody said to you, you can have ones that link to your phone and you can play games on there and you can watch a YouTube video while you're walking along, you'd be like, hell yeah.
Or are you picking your carrots?
Now, if they said to you it was £800 extra, you'd be like, no thanks. But if they said to you it's £200 extra, you'd be like, well, I've already paid £200 for the lenses, so...
Not on selectspecs.com, you don't.
Oh, not on selectspecs.com.
I just get prescriptions. Unless they start doing smart glasses, then I'm not going to be.
Well, you can buy the frames, and then send them off and put the prescriptions in.
I pay for the Vision Express subscription plan, available at your local Vision Express. I'm not sponsored by them, but hey, Vision Express.
You want to be?
We were saying earlier about
if you want to, sponsor us. I subscribe. So
yeah, we were saying earlier about advancements in like why would you go from PS5 to PS6? There's got to be but virtual reality could be that gap to say this is different to the PS5. I know they have their own virtual reality headset, but that's why I just thought it would be more popular. Because I thought people would get to the point where they're like, well, there's not much difference in the consoles anymore.
Totally agree.
And how where it seems to be going is that they just want this hybrid of a handheld. But I don't know, maybe.
And in virtual reality, you're free to have a wank. I should have a drink more often or not. I don't know.
Should. But the other problem with VR is when you're playing like a first-person shoot 'em up, and you can't walk around the room without damaging yourself or the house. You can get them stands.
Similar
can't
to
you,
if you're having a wank. Sorry.
But you, oh God, let's hope there's no kids listening to this episode. But yeah, you can have those stands where you can. Duncan,
don't worry.
Duncan, be quiet. There's these stands where you can walk on them, and so it feels like you're walking around in the environment without actually killing yourself in the process. But they're like 300 quid. So you're talking nearly $1,000 before you get anything which is massively immersive. So I don't know. How do you get to that stage where it's almost like Ready Player One?
My little my 7-year-old actually, although it's meant for teens, is listening to Ready Player One audiobook, and after watching the movie and him describing what he's listened to, they're very different things. But
they are very much so.
But yeah, to get to an Oasis start, the problem is that the fact that the Oasis in Ready Player One is because it's pretty much a post-apocalyptic. It's not post-apocalyptic in terms of everything's, but it's basically everything's gone to crap, and everything is So hopefully, we don't get to a place where we're only gaming because everything's gone to crap and we're having to compete.
Oh, it depends what Russia thinks of that.
In terms, talking about gaming films, have you seen the Minecraft film? Have you taken?
I have.
You and your son are big Minecraft fans, aren't they? So
yes, I saw it, and
did you see it on your own? You didn't take your son?
No, I saw it with my 7-year-old, and I'm glad I saw it with him. It was. Yeah, whereas the Super Mario movie, I left that thinking, if I'd seen that by myself, I would have enjoyed it. I left the Minecraft movie thinking that was a kid's film.
What a waste of time, yeah. I've heard mixed things about it. My kids loved it. I've not seen it.
There was loads of people on the Gaming Dads thing that I put a review of it, and I said it was really just for kids kind of thing. And there were so many of them going, well, it's a kids' movie. Well, yeah, but it was a kids' movie that didn't really have adult things.
Yeah. You can have a kids' movie, but they have stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Goonies. I love watching the Goonies movie now, even when it's 40 years old or whatever. It wasn't a great film in terms of classic. It was a kids cash in. That was it. And the kids, if you've got kids, they will love it. Absolutely love it.
I find that Jack Black has only actually made one classic movie, and that was the School of Rock.
There you go. He's been in a few very good films.
But they're all forgettable.
Shallow Hell, yeah, that was good.
But they're all forgettable.
No,
Flock in the Wall, maybe.
Mario, he did the Mario film.
Jealousy or something.
He did Mario film.
Yeah. I mean, he was peaches. He was
in The Holiday.
Love you. That one. Yeah. Peaches movie. He was Nacho Libre. He was in King Kong.
But they're all forgettable.
And let's not forget, recently he was in Borderlands. So he's been a lot of shit. He's been a lot of shit. And also,
School of Rock's the only one that's really going to be remembered.
Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny. That was funny. With Dave Grohl as the devil. No, it wasn't forgettable. The scene with Dave Grohl as the devil in Pick of Destiny was absolute classic.
I love the movie. I love it, but it's still forgettable.
Yeah, for those that aren't.
You're losing this argument massively.
Rock fans,
it's forgettable.
Rock fans. If you're not a Rock fan, then yeah, great. I mean, speaking the Jumanji films.
Yeah.
The Jumanji films were.
Oh, yeah, he's in Jumanji.
Okay.
I forgot about that. I forgot he was in it.
Yeah, the Jumanji films. Kung Fu Panda.
Forgettable.
He's in all of them because he is literally Po.
In 20 years' time, no one's going to remember Kung Fu Panda, over Little Mermaid that was released in '89.
Yeah, but equally, it's Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, no, Kung Fu Panda. I think all
it
in
was
all.
Shit, come on.
The first Kung Fu Panda come out about 20 years ago now, isn't it?
I'm just looking. Kung Fu Panda 3 came out in 2016. So I'm just going through all his movies. Movies. Yeah, not knowing that. Video games. Let's go back to video games. He was in Broken Age. I didn't realise that.
Was he?
Yeah. Apparently, he was Harmony Lightbeard. Oh, there you go.
We learned something new.
And I do believe, wasn't he in Brutal Legend as well? I know, obviously, you had your Ozzy Osbourne, and James Hetfield and all that kind of. You had loads of rock gods, but yeah, I think he might have been in that. Kung Fu Panda 2 was 2011. Gulliver's Travels 2010. Brutal Legend. Yeah, he was Eddie Riggs. Yeah, was he the main character in Brutal Legend? I'm pretty sure he was.
It's like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, I just had this thing that he was in Brutal Legend, and now I'm looking at it. Yep, he was the main character in Brutal Legend. Which obviously for your rock fans, he was that is the best video game ever. It's a pretty good game. Yeah, pretty good game.
Well, I think we've set the world to rights and the future. So I think we may need to call this quits at this stage.
Top. Let's let Martin actually say some words.
Says she.
Martin, anything?
I agree with Tom that Jack Black has the School of Rock, and then a lot of unforgettable. Like you were reading them out there, and I was like, I didn't even know he was in that. I do remember, but I forgot about it. So
see, me and Martin have read on many things today. Switch 2, Jack Black's crap, and a few other things.
We should do.
I'm not saying anything.
Together, really, shouldn't we?
We should.
Anyway. So should we call this the Duncan Drunken episode?
All I would say, Duncan, is I don't envy you having to do a description for this episode because we've spoken about 100 million different things. You've got to remember it.
I don't remember it when we talk about 3 things, let alone 20.
And you've had a drink as well. So
between me and
I'm going to be editing
we'll
it tonight because this is Sunday night, the 11th of May. So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it will probably be just, the description will be Duncan was drunk.
We'll get the Teletubbies theme tune as our intro.
I don't think that's royalty free. If it is, then feel free to correct me, but I don't think it is. I will check that out.
You only put like 1 second of it. No, it'll be all right, isn't it? What's the rule?
So it'll be tear it up.
What's the rule with when you can have songs on as long as they're not?
Isn't it 30 seconds?
Royalty free.
Like
Yeah. The song we have at the beginning was from a royalty free pack I got from Fanatical for free.
Mm.
And if anyone wishes to know, and the people who it's called Fat Frog, as in PHAT PHROG.
Wow.
Fat Frog. By, hang on, I will tell you who it's by because it's on my downloads. Oh God, that's my. Fat Frog. Oh no, it's Fat Frog Studios. That's who makes it, and Machina or Machina. There you go.
There we are. You've all
that
learned
is
something
the music that we have at the beginning and end of our podcast. There you go.
There we are. So, coming up in the next few episodes, obviously we're getting close to the 100th episode, but we're also going to do the Handheld episode 2. And we've got a few more interviews in the works. And I'm sure we should probably talk about our bite-sized episodes as well, shouldn't we?
Yes. So there's reviews and news and everything that people can digest in small portions. We're going to do just a few minutes of a review of a game or a little bit of news that people need to hear, and they won't be mainline episodes. So we'll still be. This is episode 94. Then we'll have maybe 2 bite-sized episodes. But then the next episode after that will be episode 94. So it will still be like that. I'm testing them at the moment. I've done a couple. A review of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, even though I technically already done that on an episode.
Doom is out next week, so maybe.
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, take your pick. Who wants to do that?
I don't mind.
One of us will do that. There you go. There we go.
We were trying to be polite there, and very British of us, wasn't it? Can you tell?
Oh, yes, very much.
It was very British.
I was actually on the radio earlier, on national radio, Radio X, on the UK, at about 11:35. It was.
Okay.
Because it was Danny Wallace, and they were saying about British things you did over the weekend because of VE Day, Victory in Europe, for those that don't know. And I was on there because I went to a Chinese restaurant, and I had an unlimited hot pot, and it was the proprietor said you know, in pidgin English, asking if I wanted a dip, and I said I didn't understand a word he said, and I just said yes, okay, and just walked off. And that was my very British thing that I did.
You went to a Chinese and had a hot pot.
Yeah. Oh, it's delicious.
That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole.
Have you never had hot pot? Oh, so good.
Not in a
Chinese. A hot pot, but not a Chinese hot pot. I've had one with like.
Oh no, not like lamb hot pot. No. Hot pot is when you have. It's basically like a stock. You have a stock on a heated griddle.
I think we should end the episode.
Yeah.
Rather than
and you stick frozen stuff in there and you cook it in the anyway. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a way I can turn this back to gaming. And
www. People will be listening to this now, thinking this has been an hour and a half, and now they're talking about the chocolate pot.
There is a cookery game on the PlayStation Network that you can play on mobile.
Mama.
That's that. With this episode is over.
Focusongaming.co.uk. Leave a like and subscribe, and if you've got any good alcohol that I could drink, and
till next time. Goodbye.
Bye. Love yous. Martin, you haven't said goodbye.
I did.
Did you?
He's stroking his carrot. Leave him alone.
Okay, say it again.
Bye.